Welcome to the Mulligan Menace. We are playing Mono Black Virtue today. The whole deck is kind of centered around the idea of the card Virtue of Persistence. Now, not only is this a nice little removal card where you can target a creature, gets -3 until the end of turn, you gain 2 life, but you also have the ability of dropping it as an enchantment for 7, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Now, we have this deck skewed in the way that your cards that are coming back just have so much help for you and are just a threat to your opponent. The big one here, Unstoppable Slasher. So even if they're managed to get this thing off of the field by maybe blocking and then casting removal or casting double removal, it goes to your graveyard, you just bring it right back with persistence, and then it just is a nightmare for them to deal with. The other thing that's nice is you can bring this back and then follow it up the next turn, bring back a Bloodletter, and now you have a chance to win the game just with the slasher attacking in. Um, they fight so hard to get these guys off of the battlefield all the time, and to just bring them back with the persistence is nice. Acolyte is another great one because it has so much of benefit. It has lifelink. You can possibly draw cards based off of this. You can create 2/2s by killing other things. And then obviously that's the core of the deck. Everything else in this is sealed around trying to get to that point where you have your creatures that you can go in for killing, or you can cast a virtue to get the creatures to do that. We have the duress in here, helps get rid of the removal, the exile effects, things like that. We have the bats, again, help pull out their hands. Nowhere to run, get rid of those smaller creatures. Betrayals, they have a nice big fat creature and just one of them. Easy to get rid of it that way. They really kind of come in handy, but be very careful. Use these early for decent targets. Don't hold on to it because if they just end up with a 1/1 token, it's kind of a waste. Maze Mind Tomb, really nice to help draw into what you need to find. Just another draw effect in this deck. Arch Enemy's Charm. This really is kind of a star in the deck to exile those creatures that become a problem. Really kind of nice there. And then also to round it out, we do have obviously the 4 of Unholy Annexes. These are great not only to help with the demon package here of the with the Bloodletter to help gain life, and you can do some damage that way. But the card draw is just magical with that. You really need that card draw. And we do have the 3 sanctuaries because you can create the demons with that. So definitely nice to have the demon package mixed in with the persistence. Really kind of a neat combo with the persistence, being able to pull back these threats. Please hit that subscribe below. I don't make any money on these videos currently, so this is kind of a passion project for me. So I really appreciate you doing that. Hitting that like button and then also the subscribe really helps the channel grow, so I really appreciate that. Otherwise, let's get into the gameplay. All right, we go first on this. The rest is going to be nice. We do have a little bit of removal followed by a slasher. We will keep this. We need to get a demon. We have the sanctuary. Look at their hand. Try to get rid of some of their removal. Ooh. Kind of playing a similar deck. They're going to drop the bats on turn 2, which we can flash in and nowhere to run. And then we'll drop our slasher turn 3. So the nice thing is here, we can drop our slasher here. There's a good chance they'll drop their slasher. Then we can exile their slasher. But then they'll have a secondary one. We'll deal with that one later. Meanwhile, we'll get them down to 10 life. Actually, no, we'll get them down to 9 life. If he does that. He didn't do that. Interesting. Because the coast is going to be clear for him now. That is a shame. I wanted to save that for that. I think I'm still going to have to just attack in. Let him block it out. That is a shame. We'll exile this. Put this down. He'll have a slasher next turn. Unless he does removal. Well, he can do both now. Slasher. He killed ours, unfortunately. Acolyte's kind of an interesting one. Let's drop this. We can gain life and draw a card here, which is what we really need. Let's see if we can get some removal. Yeah, just got land. Virtue would be pretty good too. We're going to do a no block on that. We're going to down to 8. Oh, that's rough. I think we're going to do this. Ooh, Virtue's really good here. Get the Virtue down right away. I don't want to attack. I'll lose 1 life. I'll draw a card. And get our slasher down next turn. 6. I'll go down to 3. I don't know if I want to do that. We'll just do no. We'll block with this because we're going to start pulling stuff back. They don't have enough land for that. Let's see here. Which one do we want to get? Let's start with this because we can drop. We can drop our Bloodletter next turn. And that would allow us to possibly win. We do have to attack in here. Let's do that, because we gotta get him down a little lower. I guess the Bloodletter wouldn't matter at that point. We could still scry, which is nice. All right. I think we just 6, 7. I think we just won the game. Because we'll get Bloodletter back with Virtue. All right. Good game. That's how the deck works. All right, we go first. We have 2 land. We have a bunch of removal. We even can look at their hand. Let's keep it. Okay, I'm not worried about that one. Let's get our card. Look what we got going on here. Oh, they got a bunch of removal. Let's force their hand on it. Not a big deal. We can remove that. Probably going to take like a nowhere to run. Oh, they took the slasher. Interesting. I suppose we could play that next turn, but they got remove. They have enough removal in their hand. I don't know why they'd be that worried about it. I want them to waste their removal on my deep bats. I don't want to trade. That's fine. Go to attack. They're gonna have to start burning their removal then if they're gonna do something here. So they're gonna shoot the sheriff? No. Interesting. I'd rather have them waste 2 removal to get rid of this permanently than anything else. Okay, they're going after that, which also allows them to do the trajectory. It's fine. Alright, so I'm not going to cast this simply because I don't want that to die. And I can use the charm to help that out. The sorcery speed. Should I just use this now to get rid of that pesky flyer? End turn. Okay, is he gonna cast a Drowner? Not. I'm gonna let him cast a Drowner next turn when I attack. He's gonna do it at the end of his turn. Or end of my turn, I should say. We're going to do this right away to prevent the stun counter from removing my slasher. Here's another one. Okay. That's fair. That also means that the coast is open for the... Actually, it's not, because he can remove this, and then he still has that tragic in his hand. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Because now the coast is open. Okay. Can't block it. Damn it. Yeah, we got another one though. We could really utilize our virtue at this point. Virtue would come in handy. That's fine. Attack in, see what we draw. Skip a land in hand. Oh, I suppose it's... Oh, it lost its ability. That's unfortunate. Not a whole lot we can do with that. I mean, I guess we'll just trade here. It's unfortunate we can't use this as a card draw engine or get a 2/2. And he kills it. We get the bats. We can block with that. Well, actually, no, it becomes a 2/2. Virtue. That is a good draw. I didn't want to waste the turn to get that. We'll just attack in. Okay, we're going to get an Acolyte back here. That's a pretty good draw. I probably should have waited, or... Oh, that stinks. I probably should have killed off his Beastbinder with this, because that is causing me a lot of problems. I just wanted to get that Virtue down. That's not bad. No attacks. Good game. All right, let's look at this. We got 4 land, we got the bats, a charm, and a slasher. That's not so bad. We'll look at their hand right away. All right, looks like we're playing rabbits. Ooh, they're playing like a Boroid version of rabbits. We do have the Seam Rip, so that's going to get rid of our creature. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to do Seasoned. And we have to be mindful of that Boroid, so I think we're going to keep that Charm up for it. I wanted him to use that Seam Rip to get their Rearing Guard back. Because they're just going to do it anyways, so that's why I didn't grab the Boroid. I wanted him to actually care about that. Alright. Fine. Okay, so we can drop the creature this turn. And then we have to keep up the charm next turn. Yeah. Not a big deal. We got the slasher. We'll kill their important guy that just keeps ramping up. They'll get some of this damage through. That's fine. We want them to think that they're going to be ramping all these creatures. Just in case, I'm going to take full control. I'm not even going to give this a chance. Submit. Okay. They're going to get it for quite a bit of damage here. But that is okay, because we'll get the Acolyte down. So we'll get some lifelink off of these creatures. Alright. Still benefits them to attack in, but... 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. They can do quite a bit of damage here. Let me put something on top. Alright, so we go there. We're going to take 8 damage, but we'll gain 4 life. double cast here. And then no attack. Let's see what they do here. Okay, it's a big boy, has trample. Need removal for that. Ooh, they did not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they attack in. So what can we do here? Block there. Block there. It doesn't have trample, right? Block. And that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets in. Six gets in. I gain 5 life. We'll do it. And then on top of that, all right, good game. All right, we go first. We have 3 land. We got a removal. We got the slasher. We got the unholy annex. Let's take it. I'm even tempted to drop the annex before the slasher, but I guess it all depends on what we end up drawing. Get this down. Start drawing. That card advantage is key in these matchups. This also allows us to have a double drop next turn. Let's risk this one a little bit. We'll drop the slasher. Otherwise, I would have done the bat and have left open removal, but we'll see what they do. A lot of removal here. Okay. I think we're gonna be mana efficient. Actually, hold on here. I'm at 16. I'm good. Let's look at their hand. Are they gonna blow some removal? They are. That's actually good for us. Rather than blow them on that than the slasher to get rid of it. Okay, he has a seam rip. They've got a pixie and an acolyte. All right, so that means I get the seam rip. Oh shoot, he's just gonna drop the pixie. Suppose it didn't matter too much though. If I grab the pixie, he's gonna have to use the seam rip. Get the pixie. Guess it really doesn't matter which one. He's just gonna bounce. Bounce the nowhere to run to get the seam rip. Actually, that's probably the way to do it. He's not gonna. If he bounces the nowhere to run, he's gonna use it on the slasher. Okay. That is okay. This just became a lot worse, unfortunately. Let's drop this. We don't want to gain too much or lose too much life here. No attack. Where's he dropping that on? What has he got, double? Okay. That's a bummer. We're gonna have to say no block, unfortunately. Okay. So he's gonna drop an Acolyte next turn. Do have our slasher available. If we had a bloodletter in hand, we'd win the game right now. That is unfortunate. Man, that's a shame that we don't have our bloodletter. Okay. So we're going to take 2 damage from our own thing if we don't. We could drop our Acolyte. I think that might be one of the better plays. And keep our nowhere to runs available. We can attack in. Is that going to do anything? Let's do that. See if they block it. They do. Triggers our Acolyte. We do have our Bloodletter, so we're actually okay if they do a full attack. Okay, they drop an Acolyte. They attack in. Okay, let's see here. We can take... Okay, we're going to gain 4 life if we block with our life linker. He doesn't have any cards in hand. I think we got him. Or no, we can't double. We can't double Nowhere to Run, unfortunately. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll block here. We'll block here. How do we do that differently? We block here, block here. Take 5, 6, 7. We can flash that in. Take 4. We gain 4. Do not lose anything. He's going to get a 2-2 if we do it that way. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do it that way. 2 lockers. We'll know where to run. Because they're going to get 2/2 anyways. So we wouldn't be able to do it any other way. We want to get that off the board. So that's good. So we can get rid of their Acolyte here. All right, good game. All right, we got 3 land here. We do go first. We have a Tomb if we can or don't need to cast a removal. Then we got a Slasher and then an Acolyte. We'll keep it. Most likely, they won't have a creature turn 1. Never mind, they do. So we actually do want to get rid of that. We don't want them to gain a life. Because they'll probably drop their one that allows them to grow as it gains life, so we didn't want that. Yep, this is Channeler. We're going to get our Slasher down right now. Charms are active for us at this point. Or charm, I should say. We only have 1. Okay, interesting. You gonna attack in? Nah. Okay, Betrayal's pretty good. I think we cast Betrayal first. Because both of these creatures are good. So it can only get worse the longer it sits in our hand. And I'm okay with trading here. I'm not going to be able to remove a creature and get the Bloodletter in the same time. So let's go with it. Okay, that's a good one for me to remove. All right. We don't want them to start pulling stuff back from the grave. We'll probably want to pull the Bloodletter out at the last second, just to give us a chance to possibly get that Slasher through. Got the lifelink going. Alright, this kind of changes things. Now that I got the charm, if they do have an untapped creature, I can remove it. Okay. Have Chandler. They are tapped out. Oh, please do. Yep, no blocks. Alright, good game. Nice. I really like having Virtue of Persistence in this deck. It just is a powerhouse when you can drop that. You just pull back creatures every turn. You get basically 2 turns of that, and your opponent just wants to scoop because they know they can't deal with unstoppable creatures just every turn. You know, the ones that scare them, that can rip their life apart. The Slasher, the Bloodletter is another one, especially when you have a couple Unholy Annexes down. Not only are you getting your card draw, but you can bring back a Bloodletter every turn is kind of sick if they can constantly kill it. And you can get that benefit from the Unholy Annexes getting the life gain. So This deck is a fun one to play. I like this version of it. Definitely a different version from the typical demon package with a lot of those smaller creatures mixed in there. So uh, definitely a more of a mid-rangey to a long-range game plan, especially with the persistence that's in there. Really enjoying the different ways of doing mono black. I'm going to dig a little deeper into the different mono blacks that are out there and try to showcase some of those on the channel. Like I said earlier, I don't make any money on this currently, so if you can, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like icon to really help out the channel. And I appreciate it, and have a fantastic day.